Hello, 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 my little maniacs. This is your host, the Maniacs Gaming, coming back at you with another video. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Buccaneers Falcons game for week 1. Let's get it. Alright, so obviously this game, obviously the Bucs won. Yay, so happy about that. 23-20 final score. But I will be so honest. We should have lost this game. Or this game should have at minimum gone to overtime. We did not play a great game. Obviously, Baker, you look at the stat line. Oh, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty good. But also, only throwing for 167 yards when you tried passing 32 times, only completing 17% of your passes. That's not exactly great. Even worse than that, Baker Mayfield led our team in rushing on 5 carries. Also not great. Bucky had a really rough game on the ground. Rashad didn't get many carries. We had a run with a Mecca that had some similar production, but overall, offense was a little lackluster for Tampa on the ground game. Receiving wise, uh, hello, Emeka Egbuka. 4 receptions, 67 yards, and 2 tutties. Never going to complain about that whatsoever. Mike Evans, 5 for 51. I'm fine with it. It's week 1. Shep, 3 for 39. A little more involved than I want him to be, but whatever. Bucky Irvin, 4 for 8 with a touchdown. Can't complain about that whatsoever. Rashad, 1 for 2. Again, we just didn't utilize Rashad a whole lot outside of just being an extra blocker. And then Cade, other than didn't do much out there other than being wide open and Baker overthrew him. Very unfortunate. Ryan Miller didn't get many targets. Chaz Johnson didn't get many targets. But overall, like Tampa Bay offense did what Tampa Bay offense needed to do. That we got the win. There's stuff we got to clean up on. We expected it to be a little bit of a rough game, where first game with the new OC, we expected it to be a little rough. Baker didn't get a whole lot of time in the preseason. I don't think he actually got any at all. Mike didn't. Like stuff like that. Like, we were expecting this game to be a little rough. Anyway, over to the Atlanta side of things, then we'll talk about defenses as a whole. Michael Penix had a pretty good game, 27 for 42, 298 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked once. Overall, he played well. I can't fault him for that. He played really well. He did what he needed to do. He didn't force any throws. He hit the wide open man. Can't complain him. And then Atlanta's ground game was real rough, honestly. You see here, 10 for 24, 2.4 carry, 12 for 24, that's even worse, and 6 for 21. Michael Penix was arguably the best one on the ground, but barely averaged 3 yards a carry. Did have a touchdown where he dove at the goal line. But again, his numbers are a little inflated by the fact he had a lawn of 12 yards. So overall, neither team could just get a rushing game going. So credit to both teams' D lines here. Just neither offense could get the rush game going. However, Atlanta was a little bit more successful with the pass end. With Bijan taking a screen pass 50 yards to the house for a touchdown, but outside of that, 5 receptions for 50 yards. So 10 on average per reception. Can't complain about that. Kyle Pitts 759, London 8 for 55, Ray 351, and Casey Washington 3 for 33. And then Hodge got a target but didn't haul it in or got overthrown. Honestly, like the thing that concerns me most here is Kyle Pitts and Drake London having so many receptions but not many yards to show for it. I was seeing on the side there, Kyle Pitts' lawn was 14 and Drake's was a lawn of 12. I know Drake did get hurt towards the end of the game, but that's still to be concerning. Anyway, also, Atlanta did fumble one time, but it was recovered by Bijan, so that's obviously not going to come back to bite them. But overall, both offenses, they did what they needed to do. Atlanta's offense was really good, which Michael Penix needed to show that he had something in him this game against a blitz-happy defense, and he did exactly that. He went ahead and he was able to throw the ball quickly when he needed to. He was able to find open men. He was able to call the protection correctly. He was only sacked one time, technically twice, but Yaya's was called off because of a face mask penalty. But again, if you're the Falcons, you're not at all going to complain. And defensive wise, defense was kind of all over the place. We had a bunch of players just get involved. Tyke leading the way in tackles, along with Zion and Dennis being up there. Dennis had a pretty solid game, all things considered. He had a couple of rough plays. He was a lot better in run defense than passing. So I'm very curious if we're going to switch him to be more of a run stopper versus a pass coverage linebacker. And of course, Levante being Levante. Jamel, who outside of the face mask, he had a pretty solid game, I will admit. He went out there and he prevented Drake London from catching a ball in the end zone, and he had a couple other plays. But there, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Antoine Winfield Jr. quite literally saved the game by breaking up a pass that would have been a touchdown if he didn't break it up. Jacob Parrish had a pretty solid game as a rookie. Can't complain about him whatsoever. Then Yaya, he had a lot of good reps, but just couldn't get to the quarterback in time. And then Hassan Reddick got the one sack. He had a really good game, all things considered. He had 7 pressures. He was getting off the line real quick, so be watching him this season. Anyway, Anthony Nelson, yeah, pretty good game. Vita Vea had a really strong game. It doesn't show up in the stats sheet a lot, but he had a pretty strong game. He was getting behind the line and wrecking some havoc and got a couple. He was involved in helping other people get TFLs. And then everybody else just had a couple sacks here and there, or tackles here and there. Over on Atlanta's side, leading tackler was AJ Terrell. And then they only had the one sack, which got split between Divine Diablo, Raiders legend, and Billy Bowman. And then the 2 TFLs also one by Divine, and then Arnold Ebichetti got involved there as well. Other than that, genuinely, Atlanta's defense did what needed to be done. They just did what needed to be done. They prevented the Bucs from being able to keep getting down the field, and they stopped when they needed to get stops. However, James Pierce Jr., I'm not sure if he didn't play or what's going on here, but he didn't record a single statistic, so I have to look more into that. Jalen Walker had a decent game for a rookie. Then nobody really cares about this. And then here's where the things really went south. And Tampa left 4 points off the board. Obviously, Chase had a field goal that doinked, had an extra point that doinked. No, he had the field goal that missed wide right, the extra point doinked. And as for Yunhoku, he literally had a practice kick, missed the practice kick, and then also missed the actual kick. But overall, like, Koo did cost them the game, but again, like, overall, both teams played really well. This is definitely a game, like, I'm going to be very much intrigued by. Also, shout out the fact that we have a punter. That's the highlight. 4 for 205. Can't complain. All right, anyway, we'll go ahead. And, yeah. But those are my thoughts. Overall, there's a lot of things Tampa needs to clean up on. We still need to work on our tackling. We need to work on getting the run game going again. Obviously, a big thing of this game is right before kickoff. I think it was like 30 minutes before that Bucs did announce that Graham Barton would be switching to left tackle. Breslin would slide inside to center, and then Michael Jordan, who called up from the practice squad, was going to step in at left guard, which honestly, that line did pretty well. All things considered. Just the run game was not there, which I'm going to give credit to Atlanta and their D-line for just being able to wreak havoc on the line just to be able to prevent the running backs from getting anything going. But overall, can't complain too much. Obviously, getting a win out of the way week 1's always great, especially a divisional opponent on the road. Never going to complain about that. But obviously, there's stuff we have to clean up. We got to get Chase taken care of. 1 for 2 is not great for field goals, and then missing extra points also not great. That's 4 points that could have put us up a touchdown and made it so Atlanta couldn't just settle for 3. They could have had to keep going for it. Granted, at the same time, over on Koo's side, he makes a field goal that sends it to overtime. Thankfully, he didn't because I had to go to the gym. But there's a lot of stuff that could have happened in this game. But overall, really good game. I think this just shows that Tampa Bay's in the driver's seat for the division early, but Atlanta is the main threat. So I respect the Falcons here. They had a really good game overall, and I definitely expect the second matchup in Raymond James to be quite around the same lines of hectic. But anyway, guys, Let me know what you guys think down below. How do you guys think the Bucs did? How did your guys' favorite teams do? Let me know down in the comments. If you're an Atlanta fan, sorry, Coop, that missed a kick. I think the Falcons said they're going to be bringing in kickers to bring in competition. We'll have to see what happens there. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on that noti bell on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Trying to hit that by the end of the year. Trying to hit 17 hundo by the end of next month. Let's get it, fam. And as always, I will see all you guys later. Stay crazy, fam.